everyone, and welcome to today's video. I thought it'd be fun to do a little writing evening in my life. This was a very impromptu video because I wasn't expecting to write today at all, but I realized that if I do want to start making writing a habit, then I need to start making writing a habit. I'm not going to start forcing myself to write every day, but I do want to prioritize it a little bit more than I have been doing, especially when I start getting to the point where I'm really trying to finish this book. So that's what we're gonna do. I had a pretty busy day, but not even busy in the sense that like I had so many things to do, but like also just resting because yesterday was incredibly busy for me. And so I was just trying to upload a video and have like me time, which I feel like is very productive. Like just being alone and like recharging from a very exhausting day from yesterday. So anyways, I don't know, I'm explaining all that, but I guess all that to say that even though I kind of don't feel like writing, I think it's good for me to write. Also, I realized that I'm one of those people who really like to write at nighttime. I rarely write in the morning. There's been several occasions where I've written on my phone and like fallen asleep while writing. And so for whatever reason, my creative juices flow a lot during the nighttime, which is also very symbolic of my story, which you'll find out whenever you read it. But yeah, it is currently 7:03. So I'm gonna try to get through the chapter that I kind of just started. I think I only have like a couple paragraphs in it. It would be awesome if I could finish it, but I just don't think that's gonna be possible because it's like a very content heavy chapter, so there's no way I'll be able to get through it. But if I can get like 500 words, that would be awesome, because my guess is like once I get to 500 words, then I'll probably finish like the first like scene of this chapter. We'll find out by the end of this video, but other than that, let's go ahead and start writing. Okay, so I only ended up writing like 100 or so words, and it's, what time is it? It's 9:14, which isn't a lot, but it's because the majority of the time, is it too dark? Let me turn on the light. Okay, much better. But yeah, it's because a lot of the time was me not reworking. Like, I mean, I guess reworking. I changed the ending of the last thing I wrote because I didn't like the direction I was going into. It was kind of like I was starting up more drama, and like, if you know me, I really like drama in books, and in my book, there's gonna be a lot of like drama. I added something that felt like it was kind of unnecessary, and this chapter is already gonna be super long as it is, so I felt like me adding more drama on top of the already main drama that we're gonna be seeing in this chapter, I just thought it was too much. So what I ended up doing was scrapping that and then adding, I guess it's still drama, but like less drama in a way, because my FMC, she has kind of beef going on with this one character, and this one character, she's not really part of the love triangle, but in a way she kind of tries to insert herself in a love triangle. But up until this point, the only thing that we knew about this other character was that like she was interested in one of the two guys that are in the love triangle, and Noah doesn't like her and the other girl doesn't like her, and I thought it should be deeper than just like petty love triangle romance stuff. So instead, I ended up swapping out my old drama for like a little bit of less drama, where the girl we don't like ends up kind of like inserting herself in Noah's project, and Noah didn't like that. I guess throughout the story, I'm gonna kind of have little bits of that being sprinkled in, where this character who likes one of our male main characters tries to like infiltrate Noah's project and takes over Noah's project, and it adds more than just like, oh, she likes my man type of thing. So yeah, that's what I'm doing, and I'm really glad with how it kind of seamlessly worked out, because thankfully I didn't write too much in the old version that I had, and it was easy to just swap out dialogue for this drama, if that makes sense. Now I'm going to continue to write. Like I said, it's like 9 p.m. So how long do I want to write for? Maybe like another hour, honestly. I don't want to stay up too late, but I'm really liking the way that it is going so far. And also I asked you guys on Instagram for questions, which I'm going to answer at the end of this video so we can have some chit chat. But that's pretty much how my night routine is going so far. I'm not writing for a crazy amount of time though. Did I start writing at 6 or 7? I feel like I started writing at like 7. So I guess it has been a couple of hours, but it's just like with writing, a lot of times it's not just like physically writing. It's like plotting or brainstorming or just like thinking a lot. So even though I haven't written my 500 words that I would like to write, I'm still happy with the progress that I made. So still gonna try to write 400 more words, and I think it's doable. Hopefully I'm not being a little overconfident, but I do think it could be possible. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and then I will come back, catch up with you guys, answer some questions, and just vibe out for our little writing sleepover. So I will talk to you guys then. Bye! So it is 11:46. It is my bedtime. I need to go to bed, but I wanted to give you guys a little update. Your girl wrote over 600 words. I know, that is so crazy because first of all, when I first updated you guys, I only had like 100 down. I was like, oh wow, don't know if this 500 word goal is gonna happen, but the fact that it did, I'm so excited. And it's so funny because like I didn't even realize how much I was writing until I like checked, because the words were just like kind of flowing out, and I was writing one of those scenes where it just kind of came naturally. And I think because I did so much like brainstorming at the first little writing session I had, it made it like a lot easier. And I'm excited about like the scene in the chapter in general, so I'm super happy with how that turned out. And I feel like a lot of times like when I'm writing and I delete words, it can be like annoying because I'm like, dang, like I'm going backwards. And that's why I don't like to look at my word count for the most part. The only time I put like a word goal is when I have like an estimate of how long it will take me to write the scene or like finish a scene. So that's really the only reason why, or the only function I have for a word count. Because like if I say, for example, I want to write 500 words and I write like 450 and it gets the job done, then who the heck cares? Like the scene is done. And I honestly feel way more productive and like I made more progress when I'm like moving through scenes rather than like word count. Because let's say I wrote like 1,000 words, but I'm still in the same chapter, the same scene, like I haven't completed what I started yet, then I don't feel like I did as much as if I only wrote like 500 words, but I finished the chapter and like we're on to the next, you know? Like that's way more satisfying for me. So that's just one of the many reasons why I'm not a word count person. But overall, I'm very happy with how this writing evening went, especially because I wasn't even planning to write today. And I wrote 600 words and I have way more clarity. I also came up with an idea for the ending. Even though I already kind of know how I want the book to end, I had like a thought of like another little nugget that I can like throw in there, which is always so exciting. And it's funny because I recently made a video about outlining, and that's when I took all of my like ideas from my like word dump document and I put it in a like organized outline. But I've since added more to the word dump document, so I'm gonna have to do like another outlining situation at some point. And also I feel like I'm gonna have to do another outline even after draft 1. I don't know if people do that, but I feel like once I finish draft 1, I'll probably still have elements that I've realized later on while writing that I kind of want to maybe hint at earlier on in the book. So I feel like I would probably do another outline. We'll figure that out when I get to that point. But yeah, I'll probably do another outline before then, but I'm just gonna wait till I have like way too many things from my word dump document so I can not have to do it as much. But anyways, I'm very happy with how this went. It's very funny too because a lot of times like I'm like tempted. I'm like, should I just lie and say I wrote 500 words even if I didn't? Because they wouldn't know. How would they know? But I'm glad that I don't, because it's not helpful for me. It might be fun for you. It might be motivating for you. And that's crazy too, because online and social media can be so fake. Like I can tell you guys like right now, I finished my book. I wrote 100,000 words. Y'all wouldn't know. Like I could literally have a document like with how many words I wrote currently, just copy and paste it a few times. Boom, 100,000 words. Sometimes I just have like intrusive thoughts. I'm like, oh, I could just tell them I wrote 500 words, but I'm not gonna. And I'm glad I didn't, because then it motivated me to actually continue writing, and I ended up writing 600 words, and now I feel so fulfilled and happy. So anyways, I asked you guys on Instagram for some questions so I can answer them in this little writing evening in my life. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, so the first question someone asked me is, what are my favorite scenes to write? And this one was a pretty easy one for me just because I'm messy, but I love writing scenes with tension, whether it's romantic tension, anger tension, like elephant in the room type of tension. Like I eat it up. And those are also the easiest scenes for me to write as well. So I love that for me because I can think of so many ways to make something more intense. Like, okay, I can have the most intense scene. I'm like, how can I make it even worse? The only thing that's difficult is like choosing which way to go because I have so many options. But in other scenes, I'm kind of like, I have no idea where to start. I don't even have one single idea. But when it comes to tension, oh my God, it's just so fun for me. And I think that that's why too in the beginning, it's not that it was hard for me to write because I was eager and excited to write. But it was all the scenes were kind of similar in terms of enjoyment for me because I couldn't write that much tension. Like the majority of what I was focusing on was setting up the scene, introducing you to characters, and letting you know what's going on. But now that I'm past that, everyone knows what the book's about, everyone met everybody, now I can really like go in with the tension. And it's funny because I will find tension no matter what. That's why I was having a hard time earlier in this vlog, because I added more drama than it was necessary because I just crave tension. Like, give me tension. And then I just replaced tension with a different type of tension, but something that at least moved the story along, because the other one was just tension for tension's sake. Anyways, yeah, I really enjoy ooh, my arm, writing those scenes. And I think it's too because I love reading scenes where like it makes me like in a book and I'm just like geeking and like screaming and like freaking out, and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm the type of reader who's very vocal with my expressions and my live reactions. So I think about the same thing when I'm writing, and I have the same reactions as well when I'm writing. Like when it comes to drama, I am sat, I'm writing that. So yeah. Okay, and then I got another question and it said, if you had to pick a song that captures the essence of your current story, what would it be? And girl, the way that I was thinking about this is not even funny. I just like took a shower and ate dinner and I was just like pondering because I'm like, the essence of my story, I have no idea. And maybe I'll be able to fully answer this once I'm done with it, because I feel like I want my book to have like deeper meaning, right? And I feel like it won't be fully realized until, you know, I finish the book. So if I could choose one song, I would want one to encapsulate what I want the readers to take away from this story. But I do have a few songs in terms of characters, and so I won't tell you who's who, just to leave it a little surprise. But one of them is Treasure by Bruno Mars. I always love that song. That one just does something to me. And like I was reading the lyrics because I try to read all the lyrics to make sure it matches with both, like I guess beat and like also lyrics. And there are some lyrics in this song that I was like, okay, this is hinting towards something in my book that I really liked. And my hint is that it's not in the chorus. It's just one line, actually two lines, that I was like, okay, I can visualize how this is relevant in my story. And I really like that. The next one is A Dumb and Poetic by Sabrina Carpenter. I like this one because of the lyrics, of course. It's not like an exact match for one of the characters, but it's pretty close because, how do I say this without giving it away? We've all experienced and know people like this where they have a lot of pretty words to say, but they don't align with who they actually are. So yeah, this was very relevant to one of my characters because I feel like this character has a lot of learning to do that they find offense in when it gets brought up to their attention. Then the last song that I chose was Strings by Max Schneider. I love this song. Again, I went back to look at the lyrics just to make sure that it matched, and there was one line in particular. The whole song can definitely be relevant for one of the relationships in the story, but there was one line in particular that I was like, okay, yes, that's the song. So yeah, those are 3 songs that I chose, all by artists that I really like to listen to. But I do want to make like a playlist for my book, which I don't know, maybe I'll make a video at some point later on. But it's really hard because I kind of like the idea of like a song finding my story rather than me looking for a song for my story, if that makes sense. Like I want to listen to a song and it just be like, oh my God, this is my book. And when I think of all these songs that I've listed already, like I already associate them with a lot of other things as well, or like memories or like times in my life when I've listened to the song. So it's not something that's giving 100% like, oh yes, this is my story. So finding a playlist for it will be very interesting. And not to say that like I have to have brand new songs or something for my story, but I just want them to be like it just hits me, you know, like when you know type of thing. And these songs do closely relate to it, but none of them alone capture the whole essence of my story. And so that's why I'm like not sure if that's like answering your question, but hopefully it's suffice. But we're definitely gonna circle back to the playlist at some point, because I do like finding things in real life that can be representative of my story. So expect that at some point. But yeah, if you made it this far, leave a nighttime emoji, whether it's the moon, the stars, a city at night, whichever, to let me know that you made it this far. And if you enjoyed it, let me know as well. But I think that is all. This was a really fun video. I really like how impromptu it was and how casual it was as well. It literally feels like a sleepover, and I love that it motivated me to keep writing and not be lazy, because this happens often where I'm like, I just don't want to, especially when you have so many other hobbies like reading or YouTube or at least socializing, you know what I mean? So I'm very appreciative for these vlogs because they allow me to actually stick with what I say I'm gonna do and keep myself accountable. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! Mwah.